Hello, this is Gail from Keypop, and I'm going to explain to you in 3 minutes how to properly structure a prompt so that you get answers that match almost exactly what you were expecting every time. So, there are 3 important elements to include in a prompt. The first thing to keep in mind above all, when working with Leah, with Keypop, or with anything else, is iteration. That means it's the repetitions that allow you to adjust your prompts as you go and make them more and more precise, so that Leah gives you answers that increasingly match what you were expecting. The advantage with Keypop is that you can run your prompts in all your everyday apps, and you can save them and modify them each time to make them more and more precise, so that 99% of the time, you get the answer you wanted. I'll explain the 3 conditions to you using the documentation. If you go, into your extension at the bottom, there's a little documentation page that will open in Notion. We're going to try to fill it with resources. Feel free to share your best prompts with us based on your use cases. We could add them in there, why not, so they can help others. I'm going to take an example here to illustrate this. I'll take this one, commenting on social media. It's a really cool little hack with Keypop. You just type in an idea. It formats your idea into a comment that's a bit nicer, a bit more interesting, and also a bit more detailed. So, we left it as an example because it can be useful for everyone. So this one is from Julie's account, who manages social media quite a bit. So what you need to know is that in the first part, there's some context. It's about what we're going to ask Leah and what we expect from her. So here, you see, you're Julie, you manage my comments on social media, and you're going to receive my comment in rough form. So that's the basic idea that I typed in. Your mission is to rephrase it while keeping my natural tone, etc. You need to give me a version that's smooth and short. So here, we can give a few instructions about the kind of response we're expecting. And you have to stick to the style provided in the examples below, sorry. So that's the second super important step, which is, the examples. Why? Because, Leah is going to use those to come up with a response that matches exactly what you were expecting. So here, she picked out 5 or 6 examples of comments she wrote in the style she likes, pretty short, smooth, impactful, with a few emojis. So with these examples, what you need to do is, every time you get a response, so a comment that was written and you think it's more relevant as an example, don't hesitate to copy it, update your prompt, and swap it in for the example in the prompt that you think is the least relevant. That way, each time, you improve the example database for the prompt, and it will help make the responses more and more precise. So, we've covered the context to provide with the instructions on what we're expecting, the examples, and finally, for short prompts, like here, the important thing is to provide, as a third step, some instructions, and restrictions. Now, with advanced prompting, there are a lot more steps, and you can go much further, but here, what's important to understand about instructions and restrictions is really this part about iteration. You're going to give it basic instructions, return strictly the text without any additional explanations. This is super important because sometimes if you tell Leah, translate this for me, she'll reply, here is the translated text, then the text. So here, we're telling it in the instructions, return strictly the text without explanations. So that's the kind of small tweaks you can make each time. Use natural phrasing, and you can add a touch of humor and enthusiasm. Well, those are just a few extra pointers. Use emojis sparingly. So, same for me in my social media posts, I really don't like emojis at all, for example. I don't like hashtags either, so every time it gives me a response with emojis or hashtags, that's something I add to my instructions and restrictions. No hashtags, no emojis. So here, she wrote use emojis sparingly. Don't change the substance, stay true to the idea, that's in case Leah goes off track and sends you things that aren't really in line. Keep the structure easy to read if you want to keep line breaks, etc. So basically, you can ask it anything in your instructions and restrictions, and since these are your prompts, the answers depend entirely on all that. So don't hesitate to iterate, tweak your prompts, save them, replay them, and little by little, with all your flows saved in Keypop, it's going to be super easy to manage your daily tasks and get answers that match exactly what you were expecting. See you soon!